Hi, I'm Reverend John Riley, Senior Minister at Unity Palo Alto Spiritual Center, and I'd like to welcome you to our live celebration service, Shelter and Grace Edition. We're so glad that you joined us today. And if you're new to Unity, what we want you to know is that Unity is a worldwide, inclusive spiritual movement, welcoming people from all walks of life. People are looking for a deeper experience of spirit, a greater expression of health, wholeness, and abundance. People who are looking for transformation, spiritual growth, or to simply do life better. For we teach positive, practical spiritual principles that you can apply in your life every day to help you live a more joyful and abundant life. We're so blessed this morning to have with us Rusty Gaylord as our platform leader, Deborah Winters as our soloist, and Russell Norman on piano. And so we begin our service with our opening song. Deborah, take it away.
Open, 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 open my eyes to truth, open my hands to give freely, open my lips to good words, to pure words, open my heart to love. Open my heart to love. Open my heart to. Open the eyes of my heart. Open the eyes of my heart. I want to see you. I want to see you. Open the eyes of my heart. Open the eyes of my heart. I want to see you. I want to see you. Open the eyes of my heart. Open the eyes of my heart. I want to see you. Yes, I want to see you. Open, 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 open. Open my heart to love.
Good morning. My name is Rusty Gaylord, and it is so good to connect with you here this morning. Welcome to Unity Palo Alto's online service. We are part of a worldwide movement of prayer, publishing, and education, teaching positive, practical spiritual principles that you can apply every day to help you live a more joyful and abundant and better and richer and fulfilling and satisfying and amazing life. Unity is a spiritual movement. We are welcoming and inclusive, and wherever you are on your spiritual path, you are welcome here. We have 5 core principles that guide us on our spiritual path. Our first principle is God is. There is only one power present and active in the universe and in our lives, and it is God, the good, omnipotent. Our second principle, I am. God is the substance and intelligence innate in every person and in all creation, in you, in me, in everyone. Our third principle, Thoughts in mind produce after their kind. We have the ability to affect our world, and it starts with our thinking. Our fourth principle is the practice of prayer and meditation. Prayer and meditation connect us with the creative, constructive power of God to work in and through us. And our fifth principle is the practical application. As we live according to these truths daily, we become what we were created to be, living expressions of the image of God, which Unity calls the Christ. These 5 core principles guide us in living our vision statement. And I invite you to affirm our vision statement with me, all together. Centered in God, we co-create a world that works for all. And so it is. We're a welcoming and vibrant community, and we have many virtual opportunities for spiritual growth, sacred service, and celebration in our community. The first thing I want to share with you is the final installment of the Palo Alto Speaker Series. It has been the first Thursday of each month, and if you're paying attention, next Thursday is July 1st, the first Thursday in July. We will have Jan Wall, who is our speaker, talking about uplift in the movies. This promises to be fun, uplifting, informative, current, and I'm sure you will thoroughly enjoy it. You can find information about this at paloaltospeakerseries.com. Also, later, a few days following Jan Wall's speech, which is next Sunday on July 4th, we are having the regular annual Q&A service with Reverend John. So he will answer as many questions as he can during the service. And if you are curious about such things as how Unity defines non-resistance, divine mind, or perhaps the metaphysical interpretation of Israel, you can ask those questions. You can ask whatever tickles your fancy. Submit a question in advance is the easiest way to do that. You can do it at unitypaloalto.org/question. Look forward to seeing you there. For these and all of the other opportunities going on at Unity, which there are always many, you can check out the website, unitypaloalto.org. You can also join us at our social media channels. There are many ways to connect with us here at Unity Palo Alto and share the good news. Now it is time for a greeting. If you're watching on social media, jump over to the chat, put in a little quick message to greet those who are here watching live with you right now. You can say happy Sunday, welcome, greetings, blessings, or you can simply put your hand on your heart and silently send a wave of love out to those people who are here in spirit with you and receive that wave of love coming right back towards you. If you are tuning in for the first time or you're back from a long absence, we would always love to hear from you. We invite you to fill out an online connection card, and you can find that at the website, unitypaloalto.org/live. Happy Sunday. Now back to Deborah for our call to worship song.
I am opening to the spirit of love. I am opening to the spirit of love. Let that love flow through me. Let that love flow through me. Let the love flow through me. Let the love flow. I am opening to the spirit of love. I am opening to the spirit of love. I am a gift, no matter what age, no matter how I look, there's beauty in each stage. matter what age, no matter how I look, there's beauty in each stage. I am a gift, and I promise every day, when I look in the mirror, I'll say, I am a gift. I am a gift. Yes, I am a gift. Ooh.
And now a reading from the Word, the Daily Word. The word of today is let go, let God. I will read the affirmation out loud, and then I'll invite you to say it with me. I do what is mine to do and release the rest. Now, will you affirm that with me all together? I do what is mine to do and I release the rest. I am equipped with powerful spiritual tools to use toward creating the life of my dreams. Through prayer and meditation, visualization and affirmation, I am willing to work for what I want to see manifest in my life and in the lives of those I care about. Sometimes I can be so focused on what I'm doing that I forget the importance of stepping back from my efforts and releasing my attachment to specific outcomes. There is great peace that comes from knowing I have done all I can do, and then, in perfect peace and clarity, releasing outcomes to the divine that is in all people and circumstances. I heed my guidance to discern when to take action and when to yield to the activity of spirit. The scripture lesson is from Matthew, but strive first for the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things will be given to you as well.
I'm so confused. I know I heard you loud and clear, so I followed through. And somehow I ended up here. I don't want to think I may never understand that a broken heart is part of your plan. When I try to pray, all I get is hurt and these 4 words: Thy will be done, thy will be done, thy will be done. I know you're good, but this don't feel good right now. And I know you think of things I could never think about. It's hard to count it all joy, distracted by the noise, just trying to make sense of all of these promises. Sometimes I gotta stop, remember that you're God, and let my heart go. Thy will be done, thy will be done, thy will be done. Like a child on my knees, all that comes to me is thy will be done, thy will be done, thy will. I know you see me, and I know you hear me, God. Your plans are for done in my heart. Yes, I know you see me and hear me, God.
Well, good morning. Are you feeling stuck? Are you feeling the stress and strain of life? Well, today we're going to learn one of the secrets to moving through the stress and strain of life. We're going to learn how to flow with it. Good morning, everyone. I want to bring up that photo that we saw at the beginning of the service. Boy, isn't that's a pretty amazing photograph by my friend Brian Krippendorf. That's San Francisco. And have you ever felt like you were living in your life was in that big white stream of cars, kind of stuck in gridlock? Or were you feeling more like you were flowing with ease and grace, like down like the freeway picture there? Well, so many of us today are living in that idea of stress and strain and living in that experience of gridlock in your life. Have you ever had that experience of feeling like, oh, my life is kind of stuck? I'm not moving forward. I'm like sitting in this gridlock, and all we can think about is, I've got to get off. I've got to find the off-ramp. I've got to get off and find a different path. Yeah, I'm looking at my GPS, of course, on my smartphone, and it says this is the fastest route to your destination, but I know better. And then we get off, right? We take a left turn, we take a right turn, and suddenly we're in stop signs left and right. We're in one-way directions, and it takes us twice as long to get where we're trying to go. Have you ever experienced that in life? Is that the way you're feeling in life right now? Well, we have the opportunity to when we're in that mode of feeling the stress and strain, because gridlock will happen. It just happens in life. And when we're in that experience, we have the opportunity to step back a little bit, to take a breath, and to allow yourself to be in the present moment so that we can move through it with ease and grace. We can flow through it. We can flow with it, the big it. Here's how we do it. Because in life, there is always going to be this stress and strain. Sometimes things are going to flow easily with grace. Sometimes things are going to be difficult. That's kind of life. We've all heard the expression, right, we're spiritual beings having this human experience. And this human experience, there are turns, there are gridlocks, there are things that happen that we're just not ready for. We just don't want to have happen yet. We're struggling through it. So as we go through that, having that realization that, this human experience will be filled with it, we have the opportunity to really shift the way we are in it. Shift the way we experience it and the way we go through life. It's, we might be feeling the human experience by the giving us the case of the uns, right? That case of the uns where we begin to feel like we're unworthy. Begin to feel like we're ungood enough. Is that a word? We begin to feel like we're unsuccessful. Right? We have these ideas of who we want to be: unloving, unfaith-filled, unhappy. It gives us the case of the uns, this human experience. And when you're going through life, if you've ever been in that gridlock and you finally get to your destination, you're still unhappy. You're still in that state of un. How often do we get to let's say we're going to an event or to a friend's house or going to work, and we're stuck in gridlock. And then when we get there, we have to share it with everybody, right? Can you imagine how miserable my life has been for the last 30 minutes to come to your party? Can you imagine how miserable my life was now that everyone's driving on the road and people forgot how to drive civilly, and they're now driving recklessly, uncivilly? They got the case of the uns. And we have to, we start to live the unness all over again. We start to, allow that to guide our lives, at least for a little while until we've gotten rid of it, I guess. And then hopefully we're in a better state of mind. But how many of us really are? Some of us, sometimes we are in a state of perpetual stuckness, right? Feeling like our career's not going in the way we want it to go. Feeling like, I don't know how we're going to be able to finish this project in time. I don't know how I'm going to be able to get my kids into the right college. I don't know how I'm going to be able to get back into the swing of the flow of life the way it used to be. I want to create something new. I want to be in it a little bit differently. And so the steps that we can take to shift our experience from that human experience to a more spiritual experience in this human condition are fairly straightforward. There's 3 steps that I'd like to go over with you today. The first step is the knowingness, shifting from that state of unness to the state of knowingness, shifting to the state of knowing our oneness with the divine. Now, in unity, we call God, this idea of God, we might call it divine mind, we might call it divine love, divine wisdom, infinite intelligence, the sum and source of all that is. And we call it these different things depending on how we're relating to the allness of it, for it is everywhere present. In unity, of course, we teach that God is everywhere present, and God is within you. So if this energy, this experience, this all knowledge, this all wisdom is within you, then you're one with it, always. So not only is God in me, but I am in God. For all of this experience, this human that we call human experience, this conditional experience, this limited experience called life, that's all within God. For God is. God is. And so regardless of what you call it, what name you're going by, or how you're looking at it, how you want to experience it in life, you're always in it. And so that's the first step when we find ourselves being, stuck. When we find ourselves being cast along the rocks, being dragged in the dirt, when stress starts bubbling up, when we kind of, tune it all out and we're just feeling a dull sense of despair or emptiness, or, we're not feeling up to the task. The first step is to just remember that God is in you and you are in God. Now, one of the great practices, of course, is meditation and affirmative prayer. Meditation where we get ourselves still, where we condition ourselves to be in that stillness, that silence, so that we can commune with that essence that is within us. Meditation brings us to that state of calmness and stillness so that we can know our oneness in that moment. And then affirmative prayer is the most powerful form of mind action. It's what we say after that, what we put into the world after that, how we live our life from that state of knowing our oneness. So if you practice prayer and meditation, which I encourage you to do every day, maybe multiple times a day, just practice that idea of becoming still, knowing our oneness, and then affirming that oneness. I am one with the divine presence of life, love, and wisdom. I'm one with the infinite flow, the energy, the harmonizing energy of love. I'm one with it, and allow that to be the knowing of your being. In unity, we call this inner God within you, that spark that's within you, that place that is pure and untouched, that each one of us has. In unity, we call it the Christ. You might call it your divine spark. You may call it your higher consciousness. But it is attuning ourselves to that consciousness of the divine, attuning ourselves to that infinite flow of life, love, and wisdom. For all that knowledge, all that wisdom is there and available. We just need to attune ourselves to it so that we can become the channel through which it flows. So when there's stress and strain, it's time to take a breath and just remember, God is in me and I am in God. And no matter what happens, that is the truth. And when I connect with that, here and now, I can move forward a little bit more with ease and grace. Now, when you take that approach, then the second thing comes online, and that's your active faith. Now, that's an energy that we have within us. That's a power or an attribute or an ability that we have. It's the energy to bring forth into manifestation that which we are truly concentrating on. I used to say that our highest good, but faith works regardless, even if we're not focused on our highest good. For whatever you're focused on is how you're going to experience life. And that's what you're going to bring into your experience. That's what you're going to, the lens through which you will see. So you will find every instance of that in the world around you. So if you're talking about how miserable your life is, you're going to be able to see that bubble up before you. It's a beautiful expression of the law of faith. So when we go back a step and ground ourselves, anchor ourselves in the knowing of our oneness with that divine infinite flow, with that infinite possibility, with infinite abundance, when we align ourselves with that, and then our faith gets activated by that, our active faith, our positive faith, our intentional faith. So we start to live life from that state of being and knowing our oneness with God. That energy is what generates within us an openness to this idea of grace. Now, often we hear about this idea of grace as, oh, by the grace of God, I survived or I was able to get through there. As if we talk about it as if it's a gift, as if it's something that's bestowed upon us when we are good, when we do a certain thing or believe a certain thing. But really, it's the activity that is bestowed upon us when we tune into it, when we call it forth, when we look for it. There's a great quote, I think, in the Bible that describes this. It's from Hebrews chapter 4, verse 16, that says, "Let us therefore approach the throne of grace with boldness, so that we may receive mercy and find grace to help in time of need." So let us approach that throne of grace, that throne of God, that throne of consciousness that is within us, that point of connection that we have within us. Let us approach that state of consciousness with boldness. I think it takes a number of things here that it's calling for. First off, it's a willingness. It's a willingness to say, yes, I have within me that which I need to move through this experience. I have within me all of the energy, all of the knowing, all of the knowledge that I can take one step forward and continue on my path in a direction that is healthy instead of unhealthy. That is a direction that is prosperous and prospering, as opposed to unprospering. I don't think that's a word either. But that's okay. We can use it for this term. Is that okay? I hope that's okay. If not, I'll hear from you, I'm sure. It takes a set of willingness to be able to do that. And confidence. Faith is the idea of being confident in knowing, okay, here's what I want to move towards. And even if I don't know what the specific thing is, I know how I want to feel. And so I want to move forward and towards those feelings that I want to create. It takes boldness. Sometimes faith takes a bold action or a bold step or simply a bold willingness to stick with it, even in these current circumstances, even with whatever's going on within us. It takes openness, a willingness to receive, to be open to what's flowing to me, to be open to, where I might go, to be open to being guided, as the Daily Word today says, to let go and let God, to let go of my intellectual knowing and say, I know the exact route. I know how to get there. I can beat this GPS. I'm going to get off the road. I know the city by heart. Oh, but did you know that there was traffic? Did you know that there was road work ahead? Did you know that there was, somebody broken down, a car in the middle of the road stuck? Did you know all these things? You see, we try to solve these problems so often from an intellectual standpoint. I know I can solve the problem. I can fix it. I can go around it. I can look for a better solution. So it takes an openness and a willingness to sometimes let go and just allow that wisdom of your heart to guide you. Sometimes the off-ramp works great. Sometimes it doesn't. Let us follow our heart instead of trying to figure things out all the time. And it takes acceptance. It takes an acceptance of what is. Right now. What's happening right now? What is the experience? What are the conditions that are happening now? What's the data? Just acceptance of where we're at without creating a story around it. So when you activate that energy of faith and you allow yourself to be led by your heart, that's when that generates that experience of grace within us. That generates that experience of grace in our lives. That idea that we are moving in the flow of life, moving with the flow of infinite wisdom, moving with the flow of it, a capital IT. Because I don't want to anthropomorphize this idea that we call God. For it's not some being up in the sky granting us things or denying us things. Rather, it is the flow of life. And when we flow with it, we experience that grace. The third step is to flow with it. With it. Not against it. Not trying to outsmart it. Not trying to, as I say, you can't outthink God. Someone says that. Not trying to apply my own ego and personal will towards it, but rather just it's a letting go at times. When we're feeling the uns, we have to let it go so that we can be in the flow. So often we are trying, we are efforting, we are striving to accomplish something. And that may be, everything from I'm doing everything I can so that I make everyone happy. What do I need to do to make me happy? What do I need to do so I can get through it quickly, get to the other side of it, and get out of this mess? Because I'm suffering right now. What do I need to do to just avoid it altogether? How can I avoid this thing called life? Oh, wait a minute. We don't want to do that. So instead of trying, instead of striving, instead of efforting towards things, the practice is rather to just be with things, to be with it, to be with what shows up. So instead of striving to do something, we can just simply be with the emotions. If I'm stuck in gridlock and I'm starting to feel anxious and angry and frustrated, and I'm looking for that way out, instead of striving to get through it or striving to make it not happen, just simply be with it. Okay, I'm anxious, I'm nervous, I'm stressed out. And when you start to be with the emotions, rather than letting them drive you, just being present to them, allowing them space so that they can be and then leave, so that they can be and let go. So be with the emotions. Instead of solving, be with the confidence in knowing that the right way will show up. Knowing that the GPS says this is the fastest route to your destination and you're not moving. And knowing, okay, that's the fastest route. I'm going to stick with it. And when we take it from that standpoint, then we're not fighting against it anymore. And instead of stressing, be free in the flowing. Instead of stressing about it, it's like, okay, this is what is. I'll show up when I show up. I'll make it to the next step when I make it to the next step. Instead of efforting, we can be with it. Be with the divine presence. Be with that spark that's within you in that moment. In a class I'm taking on letting go, we're following the book by David Hawkins, Letting Go. And this is what David Hawkins say. And this is even the same thing when you're going through a spiritual practice, going through spiritual growth. Sometimes we get stuck. And he says, this process of spirituality in which one works through obstacles may seem painful at times, but it is only transitional. The mistakes now reappear, but are resolved and recontextualized from a higher understanding. This process is shortened and less painful if it is realized that the habitual responses are not truly personal, but are part and parcel with the inheritance of being human. So in other words, stop struggling against it, even your spiritual growth, even at times when, you just can't get into that meditative state. Don't struggle against it. Just be with it. Just be present to it. For this human experience comes around again and again. There'll be times when we're stuck in gridlock again and again. But when we can remember that God is in us and we are in God, when we can remember that we are beings, spiritual beings with spiritual worth, with a spark of divinity within us, and when we can remember to focus our faith, to activate that faith, to activate that knowingness that we're one with it, even in the face of it coming around again. We're looking at it through a new lens, through a new experience, with greater skills, and we can move through it with ease and grace. Spiritual learning is learning how to apply these unchanging principles in different ways in our lives, applying it at different times, at different ways, so that we can be in whatever experience we're in, whether we're flowing like that scene on the freeway or whether we're stuck in gridlock, like that scene going into the city. We're always present, and grace is always with us, and we can move through it with ease and grace. Our affirmation for today will be on the screen, and I'd like to read it first and then affirm it with you. In the midst of what seems like chaos, I cultivate an awareness of grace at the center of my being. I follow the guidance of my heart. Let me read that one more time, and then we can affirm it together. In the midst of what seems like chaos, I cultivate an awareness of grace at the center of my being. I follow the guidance of my heart. Would you affirm that with me together? In the midst of what seems like chaos, I cultivate an awareness of grace at the center of my being, and I follow the grace of my heart. And so it is. In this very moment, whatever your circumstances are, however you're showing up, know that this is it. This is you in this moment. In this moment, you are a divine being, an infinite flow of life, love, and wisdom. In this moment, you are a bright light shining. In this moment, you are one with the divine essence of life, love, and wisdom. And you are expressing it boldly. In this moment, this is you. Let's take this into our time of meditation and affirmative prayer. I'll invite you to take a nice, deep, cleansing breath and to close your eyes if that feels comfortable, or simply soften your gaze. As we move from an experience of the outer to experiencing that inner spark within us. And with the breath, we let go of the stress and the strain. We let go of the confusion. And we reestablish ourselves in the consciousness of God. breathing into our hearts, we feel this experience, this energy of love well up within us. We allow that knowingness of our oneness with God to flow through us, the harmonizing energy of love, the creative energy of faith, the infinite flow of wisdom. And with each breath, we flow. We flow with it in the stillness, in the silence. Feeling that energy of grace now flow through me. The comfort that comes with connecting with Source. The energy of faith that's guiding me, that's creating my life. The inspiration that's placing each foot down as I move forward. With that energy, I am joyfully grateful. I am richly blessed, and I flow with life. Let us celebrate this truth by singing the Alleluia. And with a nice, deep cleansing breath, we allow our attention to come back as we apply our affirmative prayer treatment. If you have a prayer request, I invite you to fill out our online prayer request card, where we hold that prayer in our prayer chest for 30 days, and then we send it to Silent Unity for another 30 days of prayer. And if there's somebody who you hold in your heart in prayer, I invite you to bring their name to mind or say their name out loud now. And for all of those prayer requests, all of those names in our hearts, and all of those who were suffering through this experience of the collapsed condo in Florida, we send our love and we affirm that divine love, that harmonizing energy of love is flowing through each person now, each situation in our life, within each one of us now, lifting us up to that spiritual knowing of our oneness, lifting us up to that spiritual magnificence that can guide us along this path, that can support us every step of the way with ease and grace. We hold this same prayer for our world, national, state, and local leaders, seeing them making wise and loving decisions for peace on earth, goodwill, equality, and justice for all people. And for this time together, for this shared experience, for this shared spiritual upliftment, we are grateful. We are joyful when we say, thank you, Spirit. And so it is. Amen.
Today is the fourth Sunday of the month, and following our regular pattern, it is an opportunity for us to send love and blessings to each other. So you'll see on the screen here with me the blessing that we all say to each other. I invite you now to repeat it with me all together. We'll say it together. We love you, we bless you, we appreciate you, and we behold the Christ consciousness expressing as you. And so it is.
Glorious, I am strong, and I know there's a place for me. Whoa, glorious, I am strong, and I know there's a place for me. When the sharpest words want to cut me down, I'm gonna send a flood, I'm gonna drown them out. I am brave, I am strong, I am where I'm meant to be. Look out now, 'cause here I come, and I'm marching on to the beat I drum. I'm not scared to be seen, I make no apologies, this is me. I am strong, glorious, and I know there's a place for me. Glorious, I am strong, and I know there's a place for me.
There is a place for you, and you are in the right place at the right time right now. You are it. It's now time for us to step into that spiritual practice of living in the flow of abundance as we prepare our love offering, our financial gift to the spiritual community. For Unity Palo Alto is here and serving you thanks to your wonderful gifts. So we're so grateful for everything that you have to give to us. There's so many ways in which you can give, and I just invite you to, however is right for you, to give however is right for you, and whatever you give and however you give it with love in your heart. Infuse it with that energy of love, because it's the manner in which we give to life. That's how we receive from life. And so with that love in our heart, we will move to our affirmation. The affirmation that we say is on the screen, and I invite you to affirm it with me. Together, divine love as me blesses and multiplies all that I give, all that I receive, and all that I am. And so it is.
Now there's a reason for the sunshine sky, and there's a reason why I'm feeling so high. It must be the season when that love light shines all around us.
Well, thank you so much, Deborah. Thank you, Rusty. Thank you, Russell. We're so grateful that you can be with us here today from the comfort of your own homes. And thanks all of you for being with us on this wonderful spiritual journey. Over this last month, we've had a survey that has been available. The survey is closed now, but we're asking people what your thoughts and feelings are around returning and how we return, the manner in which we return. The survey is closed so we can compile the information, and then the board will be discussing it at our upcoming board meeting, which is tomorrow at 6:30. And you can find more information about that on our website. And of course, feel free to join me right after the service today for Spiritual Coffee Talk. If there's any questions that came up or anything you'd like to talk about spiritually, we're happy to do that with you this morning. We're going to conclude our service with our prayer for protection. So would you affirm this with me together? The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is. And all is well. Love and blessings, everyone. Have a wonderful week. Namaste.